The Delhi BJP chief has written to the Lieutenant Governor seeking a meeting along with all the newly elected MLAs of the party. This after the BJP's huge victory in Delhi, all set to form government after a gap of 27 years. The party won 48 seats out of 70 in the elections, reducing Aam Aadmi Party to just 22. The focus now on who will be the next chief minister of Delhi. There are several names doing the rounds, but will we see a surprise name emerging as one has in the past when it comes to the BJP, from Parvesh Verma, who defeated Kejriwal in the New Delhi seat, to Vijender Gupta, Satish Upadhyay. Even Bansuri Swaraj's name is being spoken of. Now, the oath-taking ceremony of the new chief minister, whoever it will be, is likely to take place only after the Prime Minister Narendra Modi returns from his visit to the US this week. Remember, he is leaving for France tomorrow and then on to the United States. So it's only after that that the swearing-in ceremony, which is going to be a grand affair according to the sources, considering that they're getting a chief minister after 27 years. Let's go across to Ishika now for more. Ishika, the Delhi BJP chief is also going to be meeting with all the MLAs. That meeting will now take place at 6 o'clock.
Well, yes, certainly, it is going to be, a meeting, a big meeting rather, with all the BJP newly elected MLAs with Viren Sachdeva, and we are expecting in a short while from now that meeting will begin. Slowly, the MLAs are expected to come here at the Delhi BJP headquarters, and what is very interesting is that the Delhi BJP president today will be meeting these newly elected MLAs Lok Sabha wise. So that is very interesting, and certainly all of this is being done to in fact make sure that the representation is kept in mind while choosing a face for the chief minister. This is another round of discussion that is happening. Regarding that, there are many more discussions that is expected to happen before a final decision is taken. But as you very rightly mentioned, that in fact it is mentioned that only after he Prime Minister comes back will the oath taking ceremony will take place. Over to you.
All right, Ishika, thanks so much. Ishika there reporting from the BJP headquarters. Quite a crowd there, as you can see around her. But let's now go across to our guests. We're joined by Sajan Kumar, political analyst, and Amitabh Tiwari, a political analyst. Thank you both for coming on the show. And Sajan Kumar, have you had a chance really to, before I ask you about chief ministership, etc., have you had a chance to crunch those numbers and really figure out how Delhi voted?
Yeah, precisely, Gagi. I mean, now once the die has been cast, we have a better understanding of what all went in favor of the BJP and against the Aam Aadmi Party. Certainly, BJP, while consolidating the middle class, because of lots many factors, be it 8th pay commission, be it about the 1st February budget, and also sense of alienation of the middle class, BJP certainly customized its appeal among the segment of the lower middle class and the poor base of the voters, primarily what you call as the Pahadis and the Purvanchalis, who have been kind of eluding BJP in assembly elections since 1998. So certainly these two segments, primarily the Purvanchalis and the Uttarakhandis, there are reports that a segment of them also stayed with BJP in assembly election also, which was not the case in 2015 and 2020. So that's there. Also, Congress contributed to Aam Aadmi Party's decimation, while it got just 2% extra vote compared to 2020. But in terms of seats, if you see, it ensured the defeat of 12 Aam Aadmi Party candidates, including that of Manish Sisodiya, Arvind Kejriwal, Satyendra Jain, etc. So that way, certainly, it was a kind of expression of disillusionment against the incumbents. But nevertheless, let's also see that Aam Aadmi Party is still sitting over 43% of the electorate. So compared to Lok Sabha elections, certainly a segment of the voters returned from BJP to Aam Aadmi Party, but BJP succeeded in retaining a poor base also. So it's a huge Herculean mandate of expectation of the middle class, of the poor class, of aspiration, infrastructure, pollution, cleanliness, along with the freebies. Right. So it's something which is going to be quite a Herculean task for the new claimant, the BJP, to cater to every segment, because It's the Delhi electorates, but Delhi electorates have many a times incommensurable uh, expectations. So finding a right balance is going to be quite a challenge. But at least as far as the electoral strategy is concerned, BJP had it right by appealing not only to their core middle class but also to the poor segments, women,
That's
etc.
right, and
Yes, Gati.
welfareism. This time around, we didn't hear too much of, the Hindutva issues, as it were, being spoken of. More about what would they would provide, how they would not take away schemes that the Aam Aadmi Party is already doing. Amitabh Tiwari, now it's going to be quite a task for whoever it is, the next chief minister. All these promises to fulfill, all these schemes to fulfill, to ensure the Yamuna is clean, to ensure our air is clean in the national capital. But what sort of factors do you think will go into deciding who will be the chief minister from the BJP? We've often had a complete surprise coming from the left field, but it's quite a big task. A lot of people to take along, a lot of promises to fulfill. You have the community factors, caste factors, etc. Purvanchalis, the Jat. So, in your view, what are the big factors that will be in play here?
Thank you, Gargi. I think the first and foremost factor is that since the mandate has built in a lot of expectations from the Bharatiya Janata Party, you need a face, you need a chief minister who will be able to implement these promises in the next 5 years. So you need a person who is hands on, you need a person who is able to ensure better coordination with the lieutenant governor and is in the good books of the prime minister and the home minister, because the central government still controls the local law and order situation in the state. See, of course, there are caste and socio-economic considerations. Normally, what happens is that uh, the BJP would try to accommodate, if not the chief minister, at least ensure that the ministry, which comprises six ministers, six or seven ministers apart from the chief minister, belong to various caste, creed, and to the support blocks which have voted for BJP in large numbers. If you see the Punjabi Khatri dominated seats, the BJP has won 14 out of 17. It was 16-1 in favor of the Aam Aadmi Party in 2020 Vidhan Sabha elections. If you see the Purvanchali seats, still I think the Aam Aadmi Party has retained some support base amongst the Purvanchalis, because that also is the poor and lower socioeconomic base of the Aam Aadmi Party. So there the number is 8-9 in favor of the BJP. Then you have to give a message also, because you need to give a message nationally. So whether you come up with a Jat face because you have an election in UP in 2027, and also Jat population has significantly higher numbers in eastern Rajasthan, Haryana. So there is, and there is no
Where you
Jat chief
haven't given a
minister
Jat
from the
chief
BJP.
minister or leader.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
go
then
ahead.
of course you may have some deputy chief ministers, or at least one. The Aam Aadmi Party also had one. You have the Punjab elections coming up. The Prime Minister has always been continuously giving an outreach to the Sikh community. So whether we have a Sikh deputy CM, so all these factors will be taken into consideration. A woman chief minister. We know that BJP comes up with surprises, so it's very, very difficult to tabulate all the factors which they will be taking into account. But I think since a lot of responsibility is there, the people have given a lot of responsibility. They need to have a person who will implement these promises fairly effectively.
Absolutely. So, a strong leader, also someone who perhaps appeals to upcoming events, even Bihar elections, coming up. Sajjan Kumar, your view on this, the various factors, and yes, not just for the chief minister, as you said, Amitabh Tiwari, but also in the, formulation of the Delhi cabinet, all various factors to be kept in mind. But we're really looking out to see who will be that chief minister. As we said, the swearing in, as we know from sources, will only be after the prime minister returns from his foreign trip. Yes, Sajjan Kumar.
Yes, building on Amitav Tiwari's formulation, which I agree with. I mean, certainly party would try to be more inclusive. It's not because Delhi doesn't have the kind of number of MLAs in the house wherein you can accommodate more ministers, etc. But certainly this time, they would be primarily trying to appeal to one, the Sikh community, two, to the Purvanchali communities because Bihar election is there, three, also to the Dalit faction. Also, since farmers' movement, there have been a counter attempt by Prime Minister to appeal to the Sikh community, and many of the Sikh legislators this time have been winner on BJP ticket. So that way, do expect all these things will be under consideration. They will be a part of BJP's sensibilities, because in BJP, what is important when they say Chal Charitra Chehra, they have been very specific about that and very careful about the chehra, the representation factor. And that is why they will keep in mind the coming elections, political sensibilities. So one direction goes to Punjab, one goes to Purvanchal, particularly Bihar. It's also about the Dalit factor. 2024 election is something wherein they had to bit some dust, and therefore they are trying to build the base. So many considerations are going to there, but these dynamic consideration will have deterministic spaces. So the ultimately it's going to be choice, because BJP, remember, just to give a background, Madanlal Khurana, a Khatri, Punjabi Khatri, he was the chief minister, but then he was replaced because BJP wanted to expand to the urban and rural villages, Delhi Dehat, as you call in early 1990s, and Sahib Singh Verma was brought in, but just
there was
before
also
the
the
election.
Hawala scam at the time, but yes, so he had to be replaced.
Yes, and then Sushma Swaraj before that, 2013, it
how
was
long was
Harshvardhan
it?
the
Just
fifth.
50 days or 53 days, something, that she was chief minister. I remember that, yes.
Yes, and 15 it was Kiran Bedi. So BJP, but 2020 there was no phase. 2025 they have, and the demographic landscape of Delhi undergone has a paradigm shift, and so has been the political landscape. It's Modi's BJP which finally got BJP, under its nose, wherein it was not there since 1998. So mind it, many considerations are there, but as you know, BJP has been quite secretive. Many top leaders may not be having the clarity. All we can do is to speculate, but as Amitabh ji said, it's about the balancing kind of equation wherein the face has to have the relatedness, should be relatable. Someone should have everything to relate to. And that way, whether it's the gender factor, caste factor, region factor, these all things are going to be certainly under consideration. Yes,
all right. Now, we've spoken at length about this, about the the BJP and next chief minister, who it could possibly be. But just quickly, Amitabh Tiwari, about the opposition now. In your view, given the kind of comments that are coming in, given the kind of and the fact that Congress seemed to be celebrating AAP's loss yesterday, your comments on what's going to happen now as far as the opposition India bloc goes?
No, clearly there are chinks in the armor of the opposition bloc. Now, Sajjanji mentioned about some 12 seats where the Congress recorded more vote share or higher vote share than the victory margin, thus contributing to the loss of the Aam Aadmi Party. So Arvind Kejriwal is likely to dial all the regional forces or leaders of the India bloc, clearly explaining his point of view that it is the Congress party and its aggressive policies which not only amplified the anti-incumbency against the Aam Aadmi Party but also led to its loss, perhaps. So now the regional forces, we've already seen that some of the regional forces like the Samajwadi Party, RJD, Shiv Sena, UBT, NCP, and the TMC have been asking that the leadership should now move from the Congress party, or which is unofficially with the Congress party, to some regional party like the TMC. So this leadership war is now perhaps going to intensify within the India bloc, and unless some common sense prevails, because unless the index of opposition unity is stronger, which we saw in 2024 Lok Sabha election, that is when the BJP was perhaps pinned down to 272 levels. Unless that is stronger, then it is obviously going to help the BJP. And that's why we saw the Prime Minister also, despite the Congress scoring a hat trick, he devoted a lot of time in his speech on attacking the Congress party and trying also to exploit this weakness or infighting amongst the India bloc. Because if the opposition remains united, or if it had been united, let's say in Delhi, then the contest becomes or could have been much more
very different.
closer.
Yes.
much more closer than what it appears to be.
All right. Well, thank you so much, both Sajan Kumar and Amitabh Tiwari, for joining us